we see it.
Awesome. So I am Beatriz Rodriguez. A reminder, when you do your survey, that's my name. And I am from Alamo Middle School, and I teach mathematics. Usually people say math, but I just love to put in that mathematics because hey, we have some high school teachers in here, and I have to show off. And I do sixth grade. I have been in Alamo Middle School for, I want to say this is my 5th year coming in, and I'm enjoying and loving my job. Okay, so let's get started on today's presentation. And I love our name. Technology Conference 2023, we create, because I feel that's what teachers do. Every day we create a big show in the classroom. I love it. Okay, let's continue. Again, today's workshop number and remote check-in is check 23. Please place questions in the chat. I do have a colleague of mine reading the chat in case I don't see it. And I don't feel shy. We are being recorded for our future benefit, but please, I encourage you to interrupt me and ask a question if you need, because somebody else might have that same question as you. So I do encourage questions. Thank you. Okay, Flip. How to demonstrate Flip into the classroom. One of the reasons I love Flip and using it in my classroom is because it promotes student learning and collaboration, which is really what they need with peers and interactive learning TEAK objectives. You know, our Bible, TEAKs. Um, and these are why most teachers do use Flip. The first line, I got it off their website. More than 7 billion videos created and shared on Flip in 190 countries around the world. So it's not just us, it's around the world, which I just love. I got that from their website and it just stuck to me. But the rest are reasons why I personally use this in my classroom. It is a fun way to practice the ELPs. And we all know what that is: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And of course, that ties into our Telpas and our new and improved STAR. We can create assignments on Flip for any subject, any topic. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, when we were in, let's just say, when we were in the COVID year, we were virtual. PSJA was a step up, and we even used it for UIL purposes. So it could be used across the board. You can create interactive bulletin boards using mixtapes or QR codes, which we'll go into that in a bit. Um, it can be integrated to Nearpod. I did not do that on this slide. I'm just telling you because I feel that's a whole separate session that just takes a little bit longer to do. And it could easily be assigned onto Google Classroom. Is there any questions so far? No questions so far. Okay, awesome. So we're going to continue. And I'm just going to tell you how I do it in my classroom. First thing, I open up my Bible, and that is my TEAK Bible. That is every teacher's Bible to start. And of course, you're going to select the TEAK that you are working on. And this is very interesting. Find your objective outcome. Now, if you're not familiar with Flip, but I'm pretty sure most have heard it, most know a little bit about it. It is a free, which I love, free website where students can record responses and videos and submit them to you. And again, we're going to go over all of that soon. But before I even do all of that, I love to pick my TEAK. What am I teaching that week? What am I teaching that day? And I like to pick an objective outcome. In other words, what do I want the students to produce for me? So I do math. So I gave you an example. This is a long TEAK 6.10a model and solve one one step variables, one step equations, and inequalities. It's a huge tick, but I don't want the kids to do all of that. So if you notice, I just bolded, highlighted what I want my students to do for their flip. They're gonna focus in on solving one variable, one step equation. That's my thing. But what do I want the students to do? So in this case, I want the students to hand write and turn in a written paragraph about how they solve their one-step equation. And I have it underlined, record themselves reading their paragraph. And I do encourage that because I was speaking briefly to a teacher right before we started, and she was talking about fluency. And nowadays, I hate to say this, teachers, but our kids are not speaking science outside the science classroom. They're not speaking math. They're not speaking RLA outside. They're not using the word theme and synthesis and equations outside the classroom. So we do need to encourage them speaking and using the academic vocabulary as much as possible. Second, I decide how the students will have the question or the problem. IEK, do you just want it to be a sentence and they fill in the blank? Do you want a huge word problem? Do you want a map? So you need to create, again, technology conference, we're creating this awesome assignment for the students. Again, I gave you an example of one that I have done in this previous year. So read the word problem, create a one step. So if you notice, I am underlining what I specifically want them to do. Create a one step equation to represent the word problem. Solve the equation using show and tell strategy, which is what I use in my classroom for writing. To solve the one step equation and record themselves on Flip. Now, Natalie buys organic almonds. That is their word problem that I put in onto the Flip website. And we'll go into that briefly in a bit. So, is there any questions? Again, I don't, let me double check if there's any questions on my chat.
There's no questions in the chat
Okay,
yet.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going then. Okay, and I love this because I snipped it exactly from the flip.com. Third, we need to post it on flip.com. Before you start, and I'll show you how to do this, you have to create your groups. I do it one group per class, and I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. So you're going to select the group to post your assignment on. You're going to literally click, this is how it looks on the website, the plus topic to add the assignment. Click the box, add a question or idea to discuss. I use this personally not to put the question in. I use it to give it a fancy little title. Then on the description box, this is where I type in my problem. And again, we're going to go through this. You'll see it directly on the website. Fourth, giving the assignment to the student. You can post on Twitter, Remind, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, or you could just copy the link and put it on whatever platform you're using in your classroom. And if you notice here, it says this is literally a screenshot from the actual website, and this is how you see it. You're going to see all of these in the bottom. You see the little bird, that's Twitter. The cloud is Remind. Of course, we're all familiar with Teams and Google Classroom. And the last one, that's the pink one, that's the one that is copy assignment link. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. Third, we're going to post it. It's a continuation. If you need any additional media, for example, you want them to have a video or a picture, or you want them to have a link to a YouTube that's going to help them. This is where you're going to post any additional information. And these are the icons that you will see, and you will see the ones I personally use is either the camera, the image, or the little link there where I attach something. Those are the ones I usually use. Then I select the time allotted for the students to record themselves. And that I just saw this. It doesn't mean minutes 15. I meant minimum. Sorry, minimum 15 seconds. The max is 10 minutes. So for those high schoolers who you have more open-ended questions and they really have to do like an essay and you want them to read it, and or I mean you have 10 minutes. So it's wonderful that you get to pick how short the response is going to be or how long you want it. So I love that this provides that for us. So if you notice, it says here, click on the drop down symbol, and I'm even pointing to the drop down symbol. And once you click on it, it's going to give you all these times. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and so on. And last but not least, post the assignment. Okay. So I'm going to keep on going. Again, we're going to go into the website soon, but I do want you guys to see that this is literally a snippet from, and you'll probably see it when I go into my thing, but yes, it is free. So now, writing and math, because that's what I call it, because they have to turn in the writing assignment to me, and I have to approve it before they record, but that's just me. Integers, excuse me, subtracting integers. And it says, explain how to work out the word problem. Notice here, I did not give too much directions. Why? Because by this time, this is second semester, they already know what I expect. And I gave them the word problem, and the student pressed here to record themselves. And I have different examples. So right here, I have 1, 2 examples of individual students. So I'm going to click it here. Please let me know, unmute yourself. I'm pretty sure I am sharing with audio, but just in case it doesn't, let me know so I could reshare. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want, so this student got very, very, very creative. If you could put there, he put live, breaking news, and the craftier the student, the better videos you're going to get.
Hello, my name is Derek Yanos. Today we'll be talking about subtracting integers. The record high temperature for Massachusetts is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The record low is negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the difference high and low? The first step is
So I'm going to stop it there again. We're not going to see the whole thing. But if you notice, I have the student introduce themselves first. So that does take practice. That is one student. So I'm going to come back here. Here's another student.
The high record temperature for Massachusetts is 104 degrees. The low record is negative 18 degrees. What is the difference? The first step is to write KCC. The case.
So notice they introduce themselves again, and they're reading. Again, remember, I use this as a reading. They have to write their response first. They have to work it out, write it. I need to approve it first before they record. Okay, I'm going to go back real quick. Now, I did say you get to display it onto your bulletin board. And I always get the students' permission to display their work, especially when they're speaking and they're being recorded, because some students are very shy. So if you notice, if you want to take out your phone, and I would like everybody to go ahead and scan this QR code, and you're going to see another student's respond. And I'm going to give you about a minute or two, and just give me a thumbs up if you're able to get that response and if it popped up. Oh, I'm getting 2 hands up. Awesome. Again, you don't have to listen to the whole thing. I just want you to notice that these are easy to do. QR codes, and if you put them on your bulletin board, they're there. Students could go and scan their QR codes and see their response. So just give me thumbs up if if it's working for you. Awesome. Okay, so now, if you notice here, old time, I'm showing my age, ladies and gentlemen, I'm showing my age. We have a cassette. I'm showing my age. Back in the day when we used to record songs on the radio and we hated for the DJ to cut the song at the end. Remember that? But back in the day, we used cassette players, and I just got the image because it took me back to my old days of recording. So right here, it's a mixtape, and I'm going to click on it, and I created a hyperlink. And if you notice, I selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I selected 5 students, and they're all sharing their videos, and you could play this for the students, you could play this for another classroom who might not understand because every classroom's different. And so notice that they're all here. You could create a special mixtape for presentation purposes. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my screen over here. So these are different ways to be able to display onto your bulletin board, which this is one of my favorites, is the mixtape to share with other students, and of course the QR code. So I'm checking that I am checking my phone if there's any comments, and oh, thank you, Miss Hernandez. She posted, she's my neighbor in the school that I work at in Alamo, and she's displaying her board where she uses the QR code. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue. So creating a QR code from the actual flip. Now I did this PowerPoint, or it's actually a Google slide, because sometimes I attend sessions and I'm too busy writing, and then I don't know where I wrote it and I don't know where I left it. And then I go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did they tell me to do it? So if you notice, I have a lot of real simple slides to follow. And towards the end, I'll download it onto the chats so you could take it with you, and these step-by-steps how to create your assignment and how to get the QR codes, because I know with these sessions and these PDs, there's a lot of information coming at you, and you sometimes forget. So let me go ahead and continue. So this is creating a QR code from Flip when assigning. So this is not displaying when you're assigning. Here's my thing. You'll have here a button that says share. I have a big arrow clicking to it. And of course, you're going to click on share. And then it's going to give you this screen right here where it looks like right next to the X, the close button, you have another one, and you're going to click on that. And that's going to generate a QR code. And all you do with this QR code is download it to your computer, and then you print it or you upload it. Feel free. And it's going to come out like the other one that we just saw. And usually when it generates your QR code, it's going to have the student name in the bottom. Again, that's one of the reasons, and I always ask for permission, and you know which students you could will be happy to share. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going. Again, I'm not paying attention to much of the chat, but if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask your question. Thank you. So creating, thank you. When creating a QR code from Flip, when displaying the student work, okay, so this is when I'm displaying, when I want to put it up in my bulletin board, well, I am going to, okay, sorry. you're gonna come to this same thing. You're gonna click on the student name. And you're gonna click on the student name. I'm gonna actually go, here it is. I think my slides got mixed up here. I'll fix that before. So when you go and you have all your students who did your assignment, all of this, you're gonna have this share button right here. Do you see it? It's right here. I'm pointing to it. You're gonna select the student, click on the share button. Once you do that, it's going to this same screen. It looks similar. Right next to the close button, you have the QR code icon right here. You're going to click on it, of course, and you're going to download it. So notice this one, you could see that it generated her QR code and it's got her name here. And of course, I'm going to download it. I display it just like it is on the chat. Thank you, Ms. Hernandez, for sharing your pictures. Okay. So some of you guys are saying, oh my gosh, she's just talking, and oh, it's about math, and oh, it's middle school. That's not me. Well, this is me. But you guys are teaching something else. You're teaching science, chemistry, you're teaching art, you're teaching band and music, and you're the expert to your topic. You are the mastermind of it all. So here's some open-ended questions that I liked that I've done. Of course, yes, Norma, I can share my presentation, and I will fix that little mix-up of my slides right now with those three little slides.
I think someone has a question. They have their hand raised.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Leovardo Flores
Yes.
has his hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. That or he's just praising me. Woo! One or the other, one or the other. If you are, there we go. I was just greeting. Okay, hello, sir. How you doing? Thank you for that. So these are again a couple of just open-ended questions that I looked up and was, I was Googling this week. And some of you guys might think, well, I teach football. What can I do? Well, name more than 5 minutes of playing football. Maybe you want especially your seniors, when they're writing those senior essays, you want them to expand their minds. If you're a music band, that you could talk about jazz. You could have them create something. Explain the importance of dance. If you this was one of my favorite books growing up, Holes. And this is actually a question that I received as a student when I read this. So I'm like, I'm gonna throw it in there. What did you expect Camp Green Lake to be like based on its name? And what was the difference? But I remember when I wrote this, I was just like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like summer camp, and I went all off, and I just stop and think, how awesome would it have been to be able to make a presentation, record myself with audio, with video. Oh, it was just wonderful. Either way, what if you're teaching American history? Can your rights ever be limited? Science, what would you do? What would the world be like after a nuclear war? Well, this is science and history. I put it there. But yes, I love open-ended questions, but it doesn't always have to be open-ended questions. So before I continue, I'm actually just going to go and let me know if you can see my Google page. No? Maybe?
Yeah, yes. The
Awesome.
search.
Yes.
The search Google, yeah.
I always show this. Flip. And somebody asked, is this free for PSJA? Boys and girls, it is free for everybody. I'm like Oprah. It's free for you. It's free for you. It's free for you. Yay, we're winners. Free. Teachers love free stuff. So it is free. And all I did was Google it. I clicked on it. And then it's going to have you sign up or log in. I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. and it's already saved on mine. And what I love about this, not only is it free, but if you notice, I've actually joined some of these PDs and they're free too. I love learning about new stuff. So if you notice here, I'm almost flip certified. Okay, I'm going through the progress. So you could see here that I am going through the progress, but it's been a while. But if you see here, I have my 1, 2, 3 classes here. My first and second block, college prep. So this is what I mean by creating your group. So you're going to come here and you're going to put the plus sign and group. So it says create group. And I'm going to create a group. What level? Middle school? No. And enter. Next. Enter the group name. I am awesome. We are awesome. And this is where it gets a little interesting. So this is my group name, and I'm going to do the background. Check out how awesome this stuff is. Okay. And I'm going to, there. I can't see it, but it's way down here in the corner, the little pink one, to create it. And this is where I invite my students to this awesome website, which is free. Usually I do the copy and I just post it onto my Google Classroom. Okay, and oh, look at that. It's literally already there. Google Classroom, and select a class, and it's, like I said, it's already there. It's so Google friendly. And look at this, that special QR code creator. Look at that. It's so friendly to use. So now, this is where you create your awesome interactive activities. So I'm going to come here to the plus sign. Remember the little plus sign, it says plus topic. I'm going to add the topic. That is my big emoji. Ooh, I'm just forgetting my glasses today. Then this is usually, like I said, where I add in, not a question. This is just my personal opinion, but I add in something. I'm going to go ahead and put division. I'm still in the math. Division. And this is usually where I put in the problem. Now notice here, I could put in a word problem. I could, if you notice here, import an image. I could even record myself, which I've done. And I'll show you where. The emoji stickers, add a YouTube, and add attachments. And this is where you have, how long do you, usually, as you can see, 2 minutes is usually what I give my kids. But you could have 1 minute, 2 minutes, and post. So this is what you're going to do. Right here is so awesome. I love this because, like I said, this is so user-friendly. You could create a QR code right there for this specific assignment. And that's what I get. I could just copy the link and put it right in the anything you want. Or if you notice here, remember all those Twitters, remind, literally it's all right here. Just a click away. And it's so easy. So I'm going to go ahead. So once you are done, all your students' responses will be right here. Of course, I just made this up right now. There's no responses, but I'm going to go to one of my old classrooms so you can see how it looks as a teacher. So I'm going to come here to adding integers. 10 response. That means some students did not do this assignment, did they? So if you notice, this is what you're going to see, the student name, when they did it, how long it was. And I do allow them to view each other because sometimes, especially with English learners, they struggle with their vocabulary. So it's nice for them to hear their peers pronouncing the same words that they're having trouble with. And so I do allow them to go back and see somebody else's video. I'm very tricky with the comments. The teacher has a right to stop the comments or open the comments. I usually leave it open, but once I see something that I don't like, no. So every class is different on that, and it's to the teacher discretion. So if you notice here, this is what you're going to see on your side. Now I'm going to come here because some of you guys are saying, oh, well, yeah, well, hello, my kids aren't going to want to do that. Well, it's okay. I always have them sometimes do it in groups. So I'm going to click on this one. And we're not going to do the whole thing, but I want you to see that they are in a group.
Hello, I'm Gilbert Salinas.
So I do allow this in first semester where they do it in groups. They write together, they do the collaboration together, and they get to record together. And this is where their creativity really pops. If you notice, this student was able to put in, have a nice day. Little by little, the students start to learn how to manipulate this website. Miss Hernandez or anybody out there, Miss Norma, how am I doing with time? Because I love to talk, so I need to stop.
You have 17 minutes.
Woo, I'm doing
Yeah.
great with
You're
time.
doing
Awesome. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys at least 5 minutes. Maybe 10 is a little bit too long, but 5 minutes. If you do not have a Flip account and you are interested in a Flip account, do that now. Go to your Google, log in, do that now. It's okay if you don't have your classes, but that way you have these couple of weeks to practice. And if you notice, I do practice. I do put it in. It's just interesting how, ooh, I have some people saying they're done already. They're done. So okay. You see what I mean about talking? I did not give you the 5 minutes. So I'm just be quiet. I have 4 minutes. I'm not.
Hey, Miss Rodriguez, I'm just going to butt in for a quick second.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you very much, and you're doing awesome. And I'm just going to tell everybody in the attendance that if you go to our conference website, and I'll give it to you right now, I put an image on the screen. So after your presentation, we actually, it's lunchtime. And if everybody is, I mean, if people are eating at home, you know, you're going to make a sandwich or what have you. We have our keynote, our lunch keynote, which is actually Miss Feli Garcia Lopez. She is a good, because this goes with your subject, she works with Microsoft Flip. And so she's going to be talking about it. And I think it goes really well. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about Microsoft Flip, maybe Feli will touch on things that Miss Hernandez couldn't get. I mean, I'm sorry, Miss Rodriguez couldn't get to today. So just kind of giving you all the heads up. And if y'all attended the conference last year, she was our keynote speaker last year in the beginning of the conference. So she is a ball of energy, super positive. Everybody loves her. And so I'm just kind of throwing that out there. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now they have 2 minutes left. Thank you. Loud.
I can share kind of like how I've used it if you want.
Of course, yes. Okay.
I've done the same thing as Miss Rodriguez, like where I'll choose a specific question and I'll post it and I want the kids to do that. Or like a quick like low prep way to do it too. Like if you're like it's a really hectic time or you haven't had time to find a specific question. If you give students like a worksheet, any worksheet, like of just let's say math, right? Because math, different math problems, they could pick one question from the whole worksheet that they did. And they pick the question and then they have to write out a paragraph explaining how they solved that question. So then it's cool because they get a little bit of choice. They could pick what question they want to do. And then it's differentiated because the kids can pick like the problem that they feel confident in explaining, or one that they want to be challenged in, depending on the kid. And you don't have to prep anything. You just post the link and say, okay, pick the problem you want to explain. And that's a quick way I thought to share how to use
That's
Flipball.
perfect. That's perfect. It's also used, I use it for fluency for homework. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. So Flip can be used in multiple ways. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Once the kids get really into it, now they start. I'm really about. I like to hit the reading, the listening, the speaking, the all of that, and so I do use Flip, and actually any kind of videos that they have to really pay attention to work out the problem, to understand, to answer the question. So if you notice here, I have order of operation, find the error. And remember, I said that you get to embed either pictures, stickers, YouTube videos, any kind of videos. So if you notice here, it says here, watch and listen carefully to the video. As a group, so obviously they're collaborating together, work out the expressions. So I give them problems. Find all the errors that were made in the video. Explain how the expressions are to be properly solved and describe how and which steps did the errors occur in. So now they have a lot of thinking to do, right? They have to solve their problems, then watch my video and see how I completely messed up. And then they have to compare and talk about it. And I want you all to notice is that one thing I do is, remember when I talked about that vocabulary, academic vocabulary, I love to put in those special vocabulary words into the same directions. Hint, hint, I want you to use the word expressions. If you notice, I want them to use the word expression when they're discussing and they're describing themselves. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you here. That's my doggie, and I had to put her outside right now, so she wouldn't be barking. Okay, you all. Our first equation that we're going to be using order of operation is -4 minus 10 parentheses 5 subtract 3 close the parentheses times 2 cubed, or you could also say 2 to the third power. So notice that they have to listen to this. I was able to embed this into this assignment. And you're able to do that too. So it's very good to have them practice. And if you notice, I have a lot. They actually did this one. Look at that. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome me. Now, sometimes some people are like, well, do you grade all of that? Honestly, I don't grade all of it. I do pick specific ones to grade. My thing is I want them to practice the vocabulary. I want them to practice working together as in groups, because these are the skills for our future leaders. These are the skills that they're going to need in college, in career readiness programs. They're going to need these skills, and they need to know more than just pushing play on YouTube. So I just love using websites like this that are free. And they're so user friendly, not just for the teacher, but for the student themselves. And there's always an expert in your campus about this flip. I've ran into so many teachers, educators out there that they use this in multiple settings in their campuses. And so I encourage everybody, get on the bandwagon. And let's go ahead and let's go back to my thing. Any questions right now? I don't see any yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and how many minutes do I have?
You actually have 20. It ends at 11:40.
Oh, well, okay. I'm already at the end. Okay, so it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the very last one. So this is, it says, please scan your QR code for the session survey. So let me know if it doesn't work, and I'll put it on the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you have done the survey and you're good. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it on the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for saying done. Okay. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do, thank you. Okay. I'm going to exit my view here, and I want to make the correction that I had here because it's driving me crazy. There it is. Okay. Awesome, awesome. So I am going to put this on the chat. This is the presentation slides that I'm going to put on the chat. It's going to have you make a copy. But this is just for future references. If you have to go back and if you have to go through the steps of how to assign and what to click, sometimes that could be a little confusing. So just let me know.
I think
Yes.
I think it didn't. It's asking for the access.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Click share.
yes, ma'am. I'm clicking share and copy
And
link.
then yeah, copy link, and then when you paste it, like at the end of the link, delete where it says edit and put copy.
Copy. Yeah, that's what I thought I did.
Really?
Okay. Now I'll do this. Don't worry. This is why we learn.
Oh.
Okay, guess.
Oh, look, I'm gonna repost it. Look,
Okay.
it'll work. It'll work right
It
now.
worked. Okay. Okay, so now
Hold
we
up.
have about 15 minutes and I'm ahead of time actually. If you want to stay on and go ahead and mess with Flip, ask me right now if you have any questions, if you just want to do a one-to-one, if you're the ones waiting to the very end for people to leave. Oh, thank you so much. Did that help?
No,
This is
actually,
a
it didn't. I don't know why.
okay. Let me
Is
just
it
go
because
ahead
it's
and
restricted? That you could change it from restricted to people with the link?
yeah.
Oh yeah, click. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Restricted.
Okay. There we
Yeah, so you
go.
could do all of PSJA, or you could do the people with the link. It's up to you all.
Right.
And then again, also viewer, editor, yeah, all that good stuff.
Right. Yes. Okay. There we go. And again, these slides have like what to click on, link to link, what to, when you're on the website, I took snippets of the website itself.
It worked.
Awesome. Thank you. I love these technology conferences because so many people know. So many people know about technology and they could help at a moment's wait. Awesome. So once you are done with the survey and you tell everybody how awesome this was, um, I do want to thank you all for joining us, and especially on this Friday, which I know you're home. And again, don't forget your coffee. Um, I just want to thank everybody for joining us here at PSJA, the technology conference we create, because this is about. We create a community, we create a family, and I just love meeting new teachers. And I love to see the picture. I'd rather see you though, but I love to see your pictures, because when I see you out in the world, I know her, I remember her. So thank you guys for joining us, and have a wonderful lunch.